I'm Aaron from Classic Vacuum, and we're going to do an unboxing and assembly of the F100 Hizero Bionic Floor Mop. The first thing we're going to do is take our little tabbies and pull them open just like any other box. And this is the first time I have unboxed it. This opens from the top here. Let's see, we have the manual. I actually read these sometimes. I feel like not many people do. We have the tray. This is so you can set your Hizero in here in self-cleaning mode. You can have some storage in the back. And then you got a nice clamshell box. So we have an inner clamshell design. So I'm just going to put it on its side and pull that out. All right, I don't see a prize at the bottom. I'm of a certain age where I'm used to finding prizes in the bottom of boxes from my cereal box, so I always check. All right, it looks like I actually opened it upside down here. But that's fine. We have some sample solution with the orange scent, which seems to be the most popular. Looks like they're giving us a scraping and cleaning tool. This is your roller, a new addition to the F500 and F100. This is now pre-wet. So this is a sponge roller, and just like any other sponge, you have to wet it before you can use it. A dry sponge doesn't work. So they've now pre-wet them, so it's just ready to use right out of the box. Another cleaning tool. This may come in handy for what kinds of other maybe things around the kitchen. You have this, it's flexible. This is for cleaning the dirty water tank. I'll show you that. The all-important charger. Is it plugged in? This is a brush cleaner. It helps clean hair off your brush roller. Ooh, giant chopsticks. Let's see what these are maybe later. They put this packing material in. You have your, whatever this stuff is, absorbs moisture. And then this is just to keep the motor from rattling around. That's your roller motor. The battery on this one's a little different than the F803 and F500. There's your charging port. Batteries in here. Let's see what's waiting for us in here. So brush is already installed. We already have our filter installed. Trash trays installed. They have a clean out port here on the side. Let's see if that's installed. Ooh, if I can get to it. There you go. This is to be removed and cleaned periodically. So that's there. So I bet you this is not chopsticks. Oh, it's another blade. So I know on mine, I use mine quite a bit, and sometimes this is kind of going against the floor, and if you have any boards that are sticking up, it can cut or chip this, and it looks like they've given us an extra one so that if we need to, it can be removed and replaced. So we'll definitely want to save that for later. Before, that piece was affixed to the trash tray on the older models, so it was just a part of this piece, and then you would replace this whole thing. Now it's a separate item. Very cool. This is your dirty water tank. Pour the water out there. There's some water in here. I get a lot of complaints like, oh, my vacuum's used because there's water in it. They test these. at the factory. They make sure that they're good before they send them out. So it's normal to see a little water in there. And that's where this brush will let you get in there to clean any gunk out of there. Really what I would recommend is when you're done, rinse it out, put clean water in there, shake it, empty it. And then this is treated water, so it's not going to get moldy and musty. But if I'm not using my machine frequently, I will always leave this out and open. At minimum, I might put it on the machine, but I will leave the cap off for a few days until I know it's completely dry in there. It's because I don't want any mildew smell. And then here's your clean water tank. Again, some moisture in there, which is normal. And not only do we want to test it, but there's pumps in these, and you got to keep them primed. So you want to prime your pump. So at this point, I think we can put on our handle. So on this machine, it's all integrated. We have our switches on the handle, and you look here, we have a wire connector, and we have a tab. So I just insert the handle until the tab clicks. I'm going to need to do that. Oh, it clicked on its own. I thought I would have to hit it to press it in. Look how easily I can remove the handle. One thing that's a lot nicer on the newer models is the way the brush installs. So I'm going to open this up. Now, if I don't use this roller, if I don't use it for a long time, it will dry out, and I need to make sure it's wet. But new out of the box, it's pre-wet. You can see how squishy that is. It should be nice and soft, like a sponge. And then it just is going to go over top of this motor, which can swing out. And then it just fits over here in this slot. Just pushes in. Gives you a nice little click. There's a button there. Push it in. And this is all easy and intuitive. I've not ever unboxed one of these before. I have seen them, but I've not actually messed with them this much. So it's all really intuitive. I'm not having to fight or learn any of this. This piece is just going to clip on. According to Hizero, we can rinse this stuff off. You don't want to submerge these motors or get them wet, but you can wipe this out. You can submerge the rollers. But once, I don't know, we'll have to read the manual. Maybe what can and can't we do? Usually they give you a little bit of power on here. So let's see if it runs. We have our power and our speed switch. The power button turns it on. The speed switch is a high and low amount of water. So for me, depending on what I'm cleaning, when I'm cleaning my regular hard floors at home, I use the 1 level of water because that's all that's necessary. Down to my entryway, I have tile. It's a little more porous and rough. I like to use the 2 level. Just needs more water there. Look there, it's got a motor in it. And here, go ahead, let's get a close video. We'll show you how these lights work. Level 1, brush is good. Must mean we have plenty of power. We're now at level 2. And usually it will indicate a water level. It's out of water. One thing that's different about this, the other Hizeros have, the other Hizeros have a pump that has to pump the water up into a dirty water tank. Because this dirty water tank is down at brush level, it does not need to pump that water up and out. So that allows us to have a little more battery life because there's less electrical components. But when this tank is full, it is not going to shut the machine off. It is going to raise this float. So in a tank here, there's this float. And then when the water pushes it up, you'll see this See if I can hold it in a way you can tell. You'll see that plastic piece sticking up. That's when you know it's time to stop and change your tank. This holds more water than this. So the only situation that this would ever fill before this is empty is like you're picking up a spill. You've spilled some water, some milk, so you have more going in than what this tank can hold. Then you would need to do that. And so this will raise up, and then if you ignore that and continue using it, you'll see some liquids coming out of the side. It'll start kind of spitting stuff out and not accepting any more liquid. So if you have that happening, definitely check your tank. Here's your tray here. And to use it as a self-cleaning mode, you just turn it on. You just turn it on and just let it do its thing in this tray, and it'll kind of rinse itself off. Sometimes if mine's dirty, not so dirty I need to take it apart, but dirty enough that I need to clean it, I'll just put a tank of water through. On the back, we can store some of our little tools here. I don't think this one probably got to hang up or put on a sink. And then when I do clean mine, I like to take my brush out. Look, there's a tab on the side. It just pulls out. Much easier than the older models. I could take this, cut the hair off, rinse it off. Looks like that's what this is for. So how do I want to do this? So it goes like that. I can set that in there as well so it can air dry. And then I can, great thing is, it's hard to show you on the, let's see if I can do it on the base. I don't need to pick up the machine to get into this. It doesn't come out easy on the base. But just sitting flat on the floor, I just pull that right out. And then again, if I'm not going to use it for a while, this is how I store it. I'll show you. That just set that right like that. Set that in here. You know, if I'm going to go empty this need to scrape this out, rinse this out, leave that sitting there. And then again, the charger is just going to go into there. Interested to see if the battery is different and what it looks like. So it looks like we can get into it here. Maybe, I don't know. That could be a future repair video. And then I personally would then probably end up either setting this on a shelf or putting it, because I would have, if I was storing it, I would leave this open, probably leave that on, and then I would probably set this just like this so any moisture can evaporate out of the system. I typically use my Hizero once a week. If you're using it every day, you don't need to break it down to dry, but if you're not going to use it for a while, you know, when you have water and you trap it up, it gets gross and stinky. So we don't want that. All right, that was my unboxing assembly video for the Hizero F100 new machine. I'll be doing some more videos on this, how to use it, maybe my impressions, who this is for, who it's not for. I'm glad we found out that these are not chopsticks. If you have any questions, you're interested, let me know. These will be up on our website. And thank you for watching.